Hello and well, hold on, I can't see my screen.
You might want to just go in and out and let it stop sharing and then start sharing again. There we go.
Okay, we're back. The tech is back, so we'll get started. Welcome to the Accountancy Growth Council. Unbelievably, we're already in week 5 of this. So we've recorded 4 other webinars, have been joined by a number of accountants along the way. And this week we are talking about prioritising organic search efforts. So before we get into the actual webinar, just some introductions, just to explain who we are. So I'm Brendan and I'm joined as ever by Harry, my co-founder. We set up a organic search marketing agency based in Northampton called 1225 back in July of this year, but we've got a 25-year combined experience of not only organic search but other digital marketing channels as well. And throughout that time, we've helped numerous accountants grow their businesses through organic search. We've worked with a number of financial services clients, some of the bigger names that hopefully everyone will have heard of, people like PensionBee, Assets and Clio along the way. And that's our experience. So why did we decide to start the Accountancy Growth Council and invite accountancy firms? So this Accountancy Growth Council is a group of 50 accountancy firms that we've kind of handpicked through research. And we know that accountancy firms rely on referrals to get growth. And we're looking to help you reduce that reliance by helping your online presence potentially improve or be optimized as well. All of this happened because me and Harry, obviously starting a new business, we needed an accountant to help us with our books, help us with our tax affairs, self-assessment as kind of self-employed co-founders. And we looked online. First place, we work online every day. So we thought, okay, we'll search Google for local accountants to us in Northampton. What we found wasn't great or wasn't helpful. There was no audience first content or anything like that that helped us. And in the end, we also came through via a referral. But that is a massive growth opportunity that we are sure accountancy firms can capitalize on to grow their businesses faster. As for the council itself, so it's a kind of exclusive group for 50 accountancy firms, and the council meets every Wednesday. So we'll be meeting for the next 3 weeks as well. And we'll be discussing our framework to organic search success during these webinars. So today is step 5 of that organic search framework. And along the way as well, we offer more free and actionable content as well. So we've got an industry benchmark report where we've researched over 200 different accountancy firms along the way. So that's to come later on in December. And we are also going to launch an in-person Accountancy Growth Council meeting. More of that's to come soon as me and Harry are busy organising that in the background. So without further ado, the council is now in session. And each week we talk through a step of the organic search playbook specifically for accountants and bookkeepers. So we have talked about understanding, creating the foundations, producing quick wins, and then researching. And this week we're going to prioritize these efforts so that we can execute moving forward. Like I said, prioritizing your efforts is this week's focus of the webinar. But before we get started, let's quickly recap on what was discussed in week 4, because a lot of what you'll do in week 4 guides what you do when coming to prioritize your efforts. So the goal with any business, but especially for accountancy firms, when it comes to SEO and organic search efforts is to generate a return on your investment as quickly as possible. And for organic search to be effective at growing a firm, you have to be data conscious. You have to understand what the data is showing you, what stories are being pulled out, what people and potential customers are searching for in order to ruthlessly prioritize your efforts. Because without being able to prioritize the efforts and going for the low-hanging fruit, you won't be able to kind of capitalize on a quicker return on investment. As part of the process, when it comes to research as well, you need to identify your online competitors. You can do this in a number of ways, which include a simple Google search to see who comes up for the services that you offer. So in the screenshot bookkeeping Northampton, you'll see a large number of different competitors there. Examining each of your competitors' websites, understand what they're talking about, how they're talking about the services, and kind of how they're potentially ranking for keywords as well. And also looking and logging on to their social media profiles, having a look at how they talk to their potential clients on a day-to-day basis through different platforms like Facebook, potentially things like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and also more professional kind of networks like LinkedIn as well. Once you've actually started to review your competitors as well, you'll start to conduct keyword research. Keyword research is a fundamental kind of process for you to understand which areas you are going to start going after when it comes to organic search. And it's this information that we'll use to prioritize mainly. So you need to make sure you get keyword research right. And ideally what you want is a nice long list of keywords with competition and search volumes as well. Again, Harry talks through this in week 4's webinar that you can find on YouTube. There's a number of free tools that you can use as well to get started with keyword research. That's Keyword Planner and Answer the Public as well.
Sorry, Brennan, before you go forward, just got a question from Charlie, which is the following last week, he went away and he's done some keyword research using Answer the Public. But he's asked if he can send that over to us to just have a quick sense check of.
Yeah, absolutely. More than happy to do that. So for members of the AGC, if you're connected with us on LinkedIn, drop us a DM, or likewise, our email addresses. It's just Brendan or Harry at 1225, all one word, .io. And that's the words, not the numbers, 1225.io. Send us an email. We'll take a look. We've got access to some paid tools as well, so we can always kind of help out and find some additional opportunities for you potentially and help with any part of the strategy. Okay. Perfect. With the kind of competitor research, great, that's what your competitors are talking about. The keyword research, okay, that's what people are searching for. You want these people to become your customers, essentially. And to do that, you must have a relentless focus on the customer experience. That's from everything on your website, making sure that your website is technically sound. We talk about that in week 3 of these webinars. And with the experience as well, is what you write about, is how you answer the questions as well. Making sure we're not going after like keywords. It's great to go after keywords with lots of traffic for sure, but also you want to make sure that your target audience, because again, you might not be going after everyone, you might be going after a particular niche like SEO agencies, for instance. It's the first example that always comes to my head for obvious reasons. And you've got to think, you've got to go into that audience first mindset and understand what would SEO agencies or marketing agencies, kind of owners and co-founders, what would they want to write to read about? Like, I know not much about accountancy and numbers, so I've constantly got loads of questions, and my first port of call is usually Google to find out those questions as well. So to have that relentless focus on what your customers might be searching for will provide a much better experience for them, and that's how you start to grow. So again, to quickly focus on the customer experience and have that relentless focus, it's always about content quality over content quantity, content relevancy. Like for us, will this genuinely enhance the customer's experience? Will it answer my questions I've got about accountancy? And if the answer is no, it's time to reevaluate the content's purpose. Don't be afraid to just stop what you're doing and be like, actually, this content's not useful. Let's stop that and find something else to write about. And also user intent. You need to understand the intent behind the keywords and the phrases your audience are using and provide them content for that. If you can do that and nurture them along the journey, in no time, they will become your customers. Okay, before we move on to step 5 then of the playbook and how to prioritize these keywords that you found, Harry, any questions?
Just the one, but it's going to give you an opportunity to do some self-promotion, I think. So Philippa has asked a fairly broad question, which is what is audience first? I think you said it earlier on, so she's just asking, what is audience first?
Perfect, yeah. The self-promotion part that you mentioned, Harry, is I've written a blog post that answers this question. So again, if you visit 1225.io and navigate to our blog section, you will find that blog, What is Audience First Content? In a nutshell, it is content created with your target audience in mind. You are writing specifically for a target audience, and it basically just answers their question or their pain point or their opportunity in a useful manner that allows them to move on in their buyer's journey to the next stage. That can be done in a whole sort of different way. When we talk about content as well, lots of people immediately think of blog posts, but I'm not just talking about blog posts. It could be TikTok videos. Some retail companies might do unboxing or unveiling or review type content on video. It's all of that. It's blogs, it's infographics, but it's also your service pages and kind of how you talk about yourself online. It's about how you talk about yourself on social media as well. So audience first content, it is just content, but it's just that mindset around how you write that content to focus in on the audience and not search engines. 15 years ago, we'd all write keyword heavy content that didn't really answer questions. It was produced for search engines so that people could rank. But nowadays, Google's got a lot better at that, and it's all about useful, helpful, and relevant content. Okay, step 5 then, how to prioritize your organic search efforts, especially when it comes to the content that potentially you'll write or record. And again, like week 4, we understand that SEO or organic search is an investment. And if you're beginning to invest in new marketing channels, you want to see results fast to make sure that you're investing your money in the right areas. This helps to build momentum and increase buy-in from everyone in your firm, other partners or other members of your marketing teams. If you have marketing teams, they can start to understand, oh, okay, we're getting some momentum here. Let's start building that. Everyone's on the right page and they can see things working. So it's a much easier sell and a much easier way to start increasing that growth opportunity for you as well. But to achieve results quickly and effectively, you must prioritize. If you don't prioritize, you've got a list of keywords, great, but which keywords are you going to go after first, and why? If you prioritize and make that list and understand, okay, you've only got one pair of hands. Some of you might not have marketing teams and it's just you writing these blogs or creating a video on a Saturday morning after the week's work. You must prioritize your efforts to make it the most effective use of your time possible. So how do we prioritize? Well, you start with your key services that your accountancy firm offers. So that could be anything from the services that are the most popular, i.e. the services with the most clients that you've got at your accountancy firm. It could be ones where they offer the most profit margin, for instance. So your bookkeeping services may be more easier to run, for instance, but they offer greater profit margins. So you may actually prioritize that because you want to get more bookkeeping clients into your firm. So write out a list of all the key service areas and make sure that you've got that all kind of identified. You understand the services that you offer and how you can talk about them. And then you go back to the keywords that you've researched and you can prioritize these. You would categorize them into these service areas. So all of the keywords that are around kind of self-assessment for self-employed, for instance, or bookkeeping services, anything, you'd group them together into categories. And then based on your priority services, and the fact that you'll be able to write about these services as well, you're more likely to drive more relevant traffic, which is probably closer towards kind of the intent levels that you want, i.e., going from informational intent through to transactional or intent where people want to sign up. Then with your keyword research all categorized, you should have that documentation of keywords as well. So I would suggest a Google sheet or Excel sheet. Keep all your keywords in there. You want to make a log of all the search volumes and the difficulty as well. And hopefully with the keywords that you've selected, you'll have a broad kind of blend of keywords, from keywords that have lots of search volume to keywords that don't have too much search volume, but their difficulty or competition levels are a lot lower. So again, they could be good keywords to go after to begin with. And then it's about going through this list and identifying the low-hanging fruit. Much like in week 2 with our webinar on quick wins, we can start to identify the keywords or the topic areas that we can start writing about quickly, and we have the best chance of ranking on Google. So that's how we start to prioritize. So it's got to be a blend between keywords that have got a decent amount of search volume, but also their difficulty. You should be able to rank. Now, this difficulty metric on some tools, they're usually out of 100. So I would suggest any kind of keyword that's below 30 should be relatively easy and attainable for you to write good quality content on and rank for relatively quickly. So in some cases, you can get ranking in the top kind of 3 pages within kind of 2 to 4 weeks if it's a content area that has a gap. So bear that in mind. Competition and search volume. Don't just go after search volume because, again, more generic terms with higher search volumes, they will be a lot more difficult to rank for. Their competition could be in the 50s, 60s, 70s. So we've got an example here of prioritizing, and it fully depends on where your accountancy firm is in your journey to kind of organic search visibility. However, I did mention at the start of this webinar, we are doing a benchmark report. We analysed 200 different accountancy firms and their websites, and a staggering 57% of those accountancy firms, some of you on this webinar as well, haven't done any organic search. So you've got no kind of visibility built up online when it comes to service keywords. So you are going to want to go for keywords that have less competition because you just won't rank for a key term like bookkeeping. For instance, that's got 66 out of 100, even though it's got greater search volumes. For those that are more established with organic search and write weekly blogs, potentially you could go after a term. You probably already have content around bookkeeping, but it's always about finding longer tail terms as well. So in this case, even though bookkeeping services has 1.3 K searches a month, it may be a better opportunity for a lot of accountancy firms to begin with. And as we can see, it's because of that competition, it makes it easier to rank for, so you can start to get online visibility quicker and more effectively by going for those with lower competition. And with this as well, we've mentioned the buyer's journey in the past as well. So 3 stages to the buyer's journey: awareness, consideration, and decision. So any of your potential clients will go through this buyer's journey. It's a non-linear kind of process, but they usually tend to go from awareness to consideration to decision. However, having audited the 200 accountancy websites, we would recommend for anyone kind of starting out on their journey to start at the consideration stage, because there's less competition at the consideration stage. Everyone goes after the awareness terms. Once you've built up enough consideration stage content, you'd move into optimizing your decision stage content, your service pages, and target pages like that. And then you can start, once you've got a good foundation in place, you can start kind of going after the more top level generic terms like bookkeeping and create content around the awareness pieces around that. So what is bookkeeping and so on. And that is how you start to generate even more traffic. So before I continue, Harry, any questions?
Yeah. So first question from Orla is about AI, actually. So quite a topical one, Brennan. So I'll give you the question, but I'll just give some context to it, which I think is about the fact that obviously when you've gone through this intensive prioritization, a lot of it is around content production. So the question is just like, can you use AI to produce this content?
Great question. And the answer is ever evolving, because as we go on in time, technology gets better. Our understanding and our usage of things like AI tools. Hopefully, a lot of you will have heard the stories around ChatGPT. That's probably the platform that most people using AI will use. It's not there yet. It's not good enough on its own to produce content that's natural and useful to people. However, a combination of a human brain and AI could help you scale operations and help you kind of work up content as well. Again, you need to keep that audience first mindset in place. A lot of SEO content is fluffy, it carries on too much, and AI at times, depending on the prompt engineering that you use, can get quite fluffy and woolly as well. It's something that will never go away. Again, this is personal opinion. Other people have different opinions, but make sure you get a range of opinions. AI isn't going anywhere. It's only going to get better. It's only going to help produce more content in future. So I would recommend anyone has a play, essentially. Get used to it. Have a go. Often what we do, Harry and myself, when we're writing blogs for our website, we will write our blog ourselves without any AI help, and then we might chuck it into AI to help us understand what kind of reading level it is. So there's a tool called Hemingway that we use. So we'll write a blog and we'll chuck it into there to see how the reading level is. We want our content to be as simple and easy to read for our potential clients. So we'll chuck it in there. Often it comes out at like 12, grade 12, grade 13 reading level, and we want to reduce that. So we will use AI. So long answer short, I would say AI is there to help. I think don't be scared of it. Use it, but don't use it to do absolutely everything.
Perfect. And then a more simple question, I think, hopefully to answer from James, which is, so the question is just, so should we not be doing SEO? My guess is that question refers to their primary services are probably those services that you showed that have like a 60 plus competition score. So if, let's say, your primary services are those higher competition services, should you still be doing SEO?
Absolutely. There are hundreds. I know this personally, and I'm probably a target audience member for every one of your accountancy firms. Set up my own business, co-founder, going to be building a business. I have 1,001 questions when it comes to accountancy. Personal story, for instance, I've been hit with a high income child benefit charge from the last tax year when I was in other employment. I know nothing about that. I didn't even know it was a thing. So first thing I do is go and Google. But the competition on terms like the high income child benefit charge won't be as high as something as generic as bookkeeping. So there are always questions and always pieces of content that you can write that will answer one of your target audience's questions. And if you answer it well, they'll be like, oh, okay, that was a really good piece of content. You become an expert and an authority in their mind. They will come back to you and your website and start talking to you. And that's how you build trust and authority with your potential clients. Once you get them and you answer one of their questions, they are bound to come back to you as well because you become a trusted source. Does that answer the question? Perfect. Okay, so let's just recap prioritizing your organic search efforts. We understand, as with any business in any sector, industry, when you begin to invest in SEO, in organic search, you need to see results fast. That is to help buy-in from your team and to understand, okay, it's basically to make sure that, okay, I'm putting all this effort in. Is it working? Is it not? Because if it's not working, you don't want to put the effort in. We get that. So to help you understand and to achieve results quicker, you must prioritize your efforts to efforts that are going to work in the short term. And then if they start working in the short term, they'll start working in the medium term because you can start the medium term plays and so on. So to start with, you need to prioritize your high value services, be that profit margin, be that popularity, be that a certain specialism that your accountancy firm offers. So once you have your list of key services and the services that you want to promote as a firm, you can go on to go through the keyword research that you would have done at step 4 of the playbook, and you can start identifying the low-hanging fruits. And that low-hanging fruit tends to be keywords with lower competition scores out of 100, and the search volume is still good, but it may not be as high as the kind of top level awareness level terms. So don't ever think that, a term with like no search volume isn't going to be searched. That's, these tools, it's an indication and it helps you prioritize, which is exactly what we're doing at this step. But just because a keyword has, say, 10 searches a month, you could rank number 1 for that search, and 5 of your target audience are searching for that question, and you convert like 4 or 5 of them from that term. That could be more powerful than a term that's got 2,000 searches a month, but people are in a kind of awareness level stage of their research. So that's, never discount any opportunity to write a quick and easy blog or record a quick TikTok to explain it. Whatever way you do your content and speak to your audience, there are always going to be questions, and don't worry necessarily about what these tools are saying in terms of search volume. It's just an indication, and it's just a way to help prioritize these efforts. So, Harry, unless there's any other questions, I will.
One from Jeremy, which I think is referring to the slide that you just been on, Brennan, which is just what is search intent? So I'm guessing that's based on what's on the right hand side there, where it says local and commercial.
Perfect. Yeah, good question. So search intent is very much kind of like, what is the intent behind people asking the question, searching for. So every Google search engine results page, when you type in a keyword, Google will understand the intent. So let's take it broader. So on our kind of personal journey, we're looking at accountants. Yes, we probably looked at a kind of local level, but we would put in a generic kind of term to begin with, like, do we need bookkeeping or something like this, a question. So awareness level, we're looking for information. And then gradually, as we start to understand, okay, we probably need an accountant, we'd go to a more kind of commercial or transactional intent as well. And actually starting to solve our buyer's journey kind of quest, if you will, through the intent. So each time someone searches on Google, their intent, what they're searching for, there's an intent behind it, and you can label it up in certain ways. 9 times out of 10 in the decision stage, it will be more transactional, more commercial, but at the awareness stage of the buyer's journey, it will be more informational. Okay, perfect. Okay, so without further ado, the council this week is now adjourned. So hopefully that webinar on how to prioritise was useful. Like we said, you can contact us at any time with any questions, both on LinkedIn. You can find us on LinkedIn through the Accountancy Growth Council event pages, and also feel free to drop us an email at any time. So Harry's email is listed on this screen right now. It's just Harry or Brendan at 1225.io. For anyone on this webinar or as part of the Accountancy Growth Council, if you have any questions or feedback on the first few webinars that we've held, please do let us know. And if you have missed any of the previous sessions that we've had, webinars, you can watch them back on YouTube. It's just youtube.com/at the Accountancy Growth Council. That's a link, so we can set. You should have access to the decks as well, so you can visit YouTube there as well. And then please join us in our next session, which is week 6. At 10 a.m. next Wednesday, the 6th of December. All of the sessions are part of the Accountancy Growth Council on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. So hopefully that was really useful. If, again, any questions, let us know. But other than that, thank you very much.